What is up, guys and girls? Hurricane Liz here. In this video, I dumbed down one of the most cryptic parts of crypto that there's been. It's one of the parts that I get asked about very often below in the comments. It is all about DeFi, and we're dumbing it down to the point where a dummy like me could even understand. So in this series, we get down and dirty with DeFi for dummies and why you should be paying attention to one of the biggest gold rush in crypto since hundreds of Bitcoins purchased to people. We'll talk about one of the hottest niches in crypto that's worthy of your attention and why you should be investing, particularly right now when we're in the middle of a bear market. We're going to talk about that and a heck of a lot more, and I promise it's going to be dumbed down to the nth degree. So I'm super fired up for this video. You should be fired up too. Okay, so I'm here with my good friend DJ and Danny, who I told you guys he likes to bring the DGen to the word Danny. That's a bad joke. I know I couldn't make up anything else, but I will say this much. This is off the cuff, and this is in response to everyone that was asking for videos on DeFi, which he's going to explain here to us in a minute, all about what it means, particularly for those people out there that feel like me, like they're just dummies and they don't have an idea what's happening out in the crypto space, but they want to be able to talk the latest crypto babble with the best of them. So Danny, tell us a little bit more about yourself and how long you've been in DeFi and how you got into DeFi, as well as how much money you've spent to learn DeFi first and foremost, because I think that says a lot about who you are and just how deep you're willing to dive to meet the people that are moving and shaking DeFi, as well as to get the hottest and best tips out there.
Sure. Okay, so mainly, where can I start? Okay, let's start initially what DeFi is and how much I've gotten in so far. DeFi stands for decentralized finance. If you didn't understand that already, that's what it is. If you don't understand what decentralized means, centralized finance is banking. Your original banking, your Bank of America, your Chase, JP Morgan Chase. That's in a complete ecosystem that's centralized. They control the money and so forth. Decentralized is an area where anything goes. It's Wild Wild West, guys. And what I mean by Wild Wild West, I mean you can make a buttload of money and you can lose another buttload of money at the same time. This is, a lot of people like to compare it to either, if you don't know what you're doing, it's gambling. If you know what you're doing, it's calculated risk. And how much I've invested myself on learning. I've been in DeFi space for about 9 months. I've invested so far now. Oh God, I'm probably about 100,000 in on pretty much DeFi, learning DeFi and gaining within DeFi. And I love the space so much because, with a traditional, centralized, yield, your bank account is only, getting like 0.03 or whatever it is on your money. When it comes to decentralized finance, I can get 8%, I can get 11% back, but it has to be the calculated risk and how long I'm looking to go ahead and get my money back. So that's kind of like the overall big idea of what the potential of DeFi is and why I'm excited by it.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds fantastic. It sounds like it's too good to be true. In fact, a lot of people have said it is too good to be true, me included. And there's been times where I've just absolutely lost my ass when it seems like it's a slam dunk. And we could go back into time and talk about some of those particular events, which we will not do for the case of this video. In this video, we're strictly focusing on dumbing it down, making it as understandable to everyone out there, no matter what your skill level is. Absolute layman's terms. With that in mind, Danny did mention DeFi is the opposite of what centralized is, but there's still a lot of people that say that there is still some sort of centralization in DeFi. Is that what you've seen to be true in some regard, or is there any true DeFi protocols out there, which we'll talk about in a minute, that are completely decentralized?
The answer is yes and no. So let me elaborate. So when people say that if DeFi is truly, decentralized, the answer is no. And the reason I say that is because individual protocols and projects, they're all manned by developers and teams. And, as scary as it sounds, is that your money is being managed by other people that you have no idea who these people are, and you have to do your due diligence on really investigating, number one, the backbones of within this project. Number two, the people behind the project, to actually come to a level head of understanding, like, okay, these people know initially what they're doing. They have they have a proven track record to not mess around with the protocol, which i.e. will lose my money. So that's the first question on why it would be not decentralized, because if it happened to be a project of fly by night where it was built on hype, and I mean, we live in a crypto world right now that meme coins make millionaires. So there's still type of that type of category within DeFi where there's like meme protocols and people ride the hype and they make that money, but then it could be a rug tomorrow or next week or next month, and you're completely out. So that's not decentralized. That's centralized because they control your money and they can just take it and run.
Right. And, let's further talk a little bit about these, because I find these really fascinating. And I got to be honest, despite the amount of information that I consume in crypto, I still don't really understand what I don't know if anyone does, but what's the whole basis behind meme coins? What exactly are they? Do they have any utility whatsoever? We could probably also explain, what does utility mean and why should you look for that in a coin?
Okay. I'm going to answer the latter first. A utility means, what that means is specifically you have a coin that gives value to another aspect that it is pegged to, let's say the dollar, or it's used in some other ecosystem, or it can be, has some use case, and that's what the utility behind it. Now, your second question would be, if do these meme, coins or meme projects have utility? They like to sell you in the fact that they have utility. And this is the most easiest catch on their utility, is that we have a game being developed that, our meme project will be creating a video game. And that's their utility, that within the video game, the coin will be used as a burn mechanism or some sort that they'll use as a utility, right? But in reality, these meme hypes are, I would say maybe 1% of the meme, protocols make the game. And then the question is, does the game succeed? Does it actually have the utility that is said for? There's a lot of promises that come within these meme protocols that are never really met. So that's why, I'm glad you asked me that question, so people, watching this can understand that don't build into the hype, don't build into, the artwork or this or that. It's all about understanding the tokenomics and seeing the utility behind the project.
Right. There's a couple of things that I wanted to talk about based off what you said there. I know that there's one other term that you've used once here that some brand new people might not understand, and it's a little complicated. There's no real true way of being able to tell, but could you go a little bit more in depth as to what a rug pull is and how people should try and avoid rug pulls in general?
Sure. The term rug pull literally comes from pulling the rug out under somebody. If someone pulled a rug out of you, you're going to fall. And that's exactly what it means, that when a rug pull happens in a protocol, is that they literally take all the liquidity that is racked up in the protocol, which is your money, everyone else's money in the community, and they take it and run. It's a complete, hero to zero real quick. And it's happened time and time again for the last 2 years in the crypto space.
Yeah, and I think one of the best ways for people to be able to filter out rug pulls from non-rug pulls is something that's kind of not really recommended a lot, is make sure you're part of solid communities where there's some pretty smart people that have had experience, not only filtering through all the crap sometimes, but just in general, they kind of just are veterans to seeing these things. So it's always important to be part of a community, which obviously I'm a little biased here. So we just started one, and there is a link in the description box below to jump into our Discord, where you do get some advice from some pretty, first and foremost, degenerates, which I don't know if that's a good part of it, but it is. I'm just kidding. And also some people that have been around the block, and some. So we're kind of like the well-known prostitutes of the street. We're the whores of the street.
Listen,
when it comes down to that.
It comes down to experience, and I have to say, no other type of members of the community have more experience, any community, than degenerates, because
you're a lady of the night again.
Degenerates, they jump in quicker than anyone, and they fail harder than anyone. Yeah, and so they'll tell you initially what's up no matter what.
Yeah, and the other couple things, I always am open to questions. Let's just talk a little bit more. I want to go into a little bit more of how you related putting your money into a centralized institution, whether it be a bank and you collecting money, say in a savings, a low yield or even a high yield savings would be a whole big whopping 0.03%. But
Right.
you also mentioned some of these DeFi plays that are available out there for people, whoever wants to, that pay a lot higher percentage. Can you explain a little bit more how that works and what type of percentage people should be or are commonly seeing in today's DeFi plays?
Sure. So the percentage that people are seeing now are as low as 1% and as high as, I would say, 8%. And I'm sure there's higher, but I'm only reiterating these numbers that are the projects that have been around and they're still sustainable. Anything that's higher is really risky, and it is risking your money and Breeze community's money to be these million APY projects and these rebasing DAOs and so forth. They're only fly by night projects, but when it comes down to the yields of comparison, I'd rather be, even though I am a degenerate, I have a good amount of conservative yields like 1% and 2% that overall take the most of my portfolio, and about only 15 to 20% are on the high yield end.
All right. And I think I got like one more question. I think we've handled most of the beginner questions.
Sure.
After that, people, as usual, you can post your comments below and we'll always get to those. And then we'll kind of continually add them. In the next time we do roll around and we have another video, we will be specifically talking about certain protocols. I know a lot of people have mentioned the desire to want to know more about Drip Network, as well as a lot of the other parts of the ecosystem with Drip, which Danny happens to be an expert in. He can talk about Drip all day and all night if you want him to. Okay, before we say goodbye here, my final question is, what kind of sites or places could people go to find more information about upcoming projects and or something that is potentially going to be a good investment for them?
I wouldn't say sites. I would say a community would be best, because you want to be implemented in community, with like-minded individuals that are mainly doing what you want to do. We have a community that would be the best place to start with and the safest place to start with, because a lot of other communities can be a lot of riskier and scams here and there. Other stuff that's not within a community, you could probably hit up DApp Radar. You can just Google DApp Radar. They show a complete index of all the decentralized finance protocols that come out, all type of play to earn games that come out and so forth on multiple networks that show you how much are they yielding or how much liquidity they have monthly and so forth.
Amazing, amazing. So I know that there's going to be a lot of questions generated from this video. As I said before, I try to dumb it down as much as humanly possible, which can be quite low considering that I'm part of the group of people that would need more information on the topic. And if anything comes to mind, please post that. Other than that, thanks so much, Danny, for joining us. I do look forward to finding out more about the Drip ecosystem, as well as other interesting projects that I've seen that you are working on in the future. So on behalf of everyone, I thank you, and we'll see everyone next time.
See ya.